In this video, we are going to be talking about two different players. It is going to be revolving around Joao Pedro and Mika Godts. We have Mika Godts, who is a candidate to maybe reinforce the left wing position, and we do have Joao Pedro, who is a candidate to reinforce the striker position. So two different players, two different positions, and this is going to be today's scouting report. A lot of you guys have been asking to talk about these two players. Do they fit at FC Barcelona? Of course, with Deco and with Hansi Flick coming into the summer 2026 transfer window, we do have to make a lot of decisions. A lot of things are going to be happening. So if you guys are new here, welcome to the channel. I'm happy that you guys are here. If you guys are Barcelona fans and you guys just like FC Barcelona in general, this is going to be the perfect channel for you guys. So if you guys do end up liking this video, please support this YouTube channel by clicking the thumbs up button and also subscribing to the channel so you won't miss a damn thing. So let's talk about Joao Pedro first, because he is a 24-year-old striker, a striker who can actually play as a second striker and also as a attacking midfielder. His style is much more of a mobile 9 to a connecting type of forward who can connect with the number 10 or the number 6 or the number 8. He's a proven Premier League attacker. He does represent Chelsea, by the way, but we're talking about a player who did just sign for Chelsea, and in his first season with Chelsea he has scored 22 goals, provided 6 assists in 49 matches. When we look at the past 5 to 6 years, his evolution has been pretty crazy. He did start off at Fluminense, which was in Brazil. He was considered as a very raw attacking talent, very technical, creative, but inconsistent. He was not yet a proven striker in the eyes of many people. He eventually made that move to Watford, and during that phase he did learn a lot of physicality, how to survive in high intensity football sequences, and he became overall way better at holding the ball, drawing fouls, playing under pressure. And as he got stronger and more physically capable on the field, that is when he made that move to Brighton, right? To the Brighton phase was considered as the breakout phase for Joao, because he became a complete attacker and scoring 30 goals and providing 10 assists in 70 total games. And he played multiple roles at Brighton, like playing as a striker, as a second striker, as a left attacking player as well. He made huge improvements during this phase by improving his link up play, his positioning, his tactical intelligence also got way higher. Now keep in mind that a good portion of his goals actually came through penalties, but all in all, he has gained a lot of confidence by scoring a lot of goals. And then came the Chelsea phase we're at currently, and now he is a main attacking option, proving to the world and to the Premier League and Chelsea that he is a striker that you cannot mess with. He's currently averaging 0.71 goal contributions per 90 minutes. So he went from a raw talent to now becoming a complete modern 9, a player who can play in any position within a 4-2-3-1 system or a 4-3-3 system. I would say that in terms of like us being concerned on whether we should sign this player or not, we could say that he's not a pure killer striker. He's not like Erling Haaland or a player like Harry Kane, but he is somebody who can still develop to become a pure striker or a killer striker inside the box, because he is only 24 years old. And I do believe that he could fit at FC Barcelona if they actually go for him. Remember, Barcelona are willing to commit up to 100 million euros in the striker position. Bringing in somebody like him would cost around 75 to maybe 80 million euros. So just 10 to 50 million euros below a player like Julian Alvarez. And Barcelona do need a mobile striker, not somebody who is very static. Barcelona need a striker who can help Lamine Yamal, right? Combine in those 1-2s. Also combine with Pedri, Gavi, Fermin, Dani Olmo as well. And with somebody like him, he does add the fluidity, the pressing, the movements as well. I would say that if you were to compare Joao Pedro to Lewandowski, Joao Pedro wins in the mobility, the pressing, the link up play, and also the age profile, right? He is younger. But then again, you have Lewandowski, who during his prime years at Barcelona, we can say that Lewandowski wins at finishing. He wins at positioning inside the box as well, and he has better striker instincts. These are all things that Joao Pedro can improve on, by the way, at FC Barcelona. So I would say that he's an upgrade when compared to Lewandowski when it comes to the future. But I do think that his attacking output, the killer instinct, does not match Lewandowski as of right now. We're going to have to bring a player that's going to have to improve his goal scoring skills. When compared to Ferran Torres, I would say that Ferran Torres has better movement in the box. He has higher efficiency in terms of goals per 90. Overall though, Joao Pedro, when compared to Ferran Torres, has a better complete overall game and better creativity and build up impact. So while no, Joao Pedro is not a clear upgrade statistically when compared to Ferran Torres, but he does have a higher ceiling as a complete forward. So I would say, and this is going to be my final verdict, Joao Pedro is a great attacker, somebody who can be very dynamic and fluid in our system. Tactically, I would say he fits 8 out of 10. Long-term value, I would say, is very high. But if Barcelona want to go for a 9 who is pure, right, a pure 9, somebody who really has great killer instincts inside and outside the box, Joao Pedro would not be that guy. However, if they're willing to commit commit and give him time to develop, then yes, Joao Pedro can pay dividends in the future. Now let's talk about the left wing position, and we're going to be talking about Mika Godts. So with this player, he is 4 years younger. He's 20 years old, a left winger, somebody who is right-footed. His style is very direct. We can also say he's a inside forward. Mika is somebody who is much more stable in terms of where they played. He has spent the majority of his career in Ajax, and through the Ajax Academy and in the first team, it has been a long road. It has been a total of 4 to 5 seasons for him to finally get into real consistent minutes in first team football. He had 2 years in the academy of Ajax, then went on to the first team in 2022, but couldn't find consistent minutes. It was hard for him to become a starter, but up until this season where we're at today, he has officially played 39 matches, scored 16 goals and 13 assists. Previously, which was last season, he played 47 matches, but only had 8 goals and 6 assists. So this is the breakout season for him, and this is the reason why Deco and Barcelona are eyeing the player, because he is somebody who can get much better when given more time. Still only 20 years old, and the fact that he has 16 goals and 13 assists, it's really good, and that is averaging 1 goal contribution per 90 minutes. His shot conversion rate last season was 8%, and now in this season it is 21%. So that is a huge jump. He went from becoming a raw dribbler in the academy to now being a productive winger in the first team. In terms of his strengths, he's elite in 1v1 ability, very explosive when carrying the ball as well. His goal and assist production rate is extremely high. He cuts inside, he shoots the ball from outside the box, very creative, unpredictable as well. I would just tell you that maybe his decision making is a little weak. It can still maybe develop just a little bit more. Like ideally, like here's the thing. For FC Barcelona specifically, within our context, we need a left winger that can be very dangerous, somebody who can take fullbacks and center backs and midfielders away from Lamine Yamal. The fact that his decision making is not so developed, and the fact that he's not as clinical like a Raphinha type of player or a Kylian Mbappe type of player or Vinicius, we're still going to go into the next season knowing that the opposition is only going to be worried about Lamine Yamal. So while yes, Mika Godts has a high ceiling, it's not going to fix the issues for the next season. I would even say that we need a left winger besides Raphinha who can press from the front, right? Who can take away the ball, who can bring the intensity, and his defensive work has not been proven at the highest level. I would say yes, he does fit at FC Barcelona, but he is a long-term left wing solution and somebody who can of course complement Lamine Yamal on the opposite side, but in a few years. I can see sequences in the future where he can cut inside, create space for Alejandro Balde to overlap or Joao Cancelo, and add the dribbling threat and be very unpredictable in low blocks. The big advantage here, if developed correctly, is that Barcelona will become a threat on both wings when it comes to 1v1s. For sure, when compared to a player like Raphinha, Raphinha wins in experience, in consistency, in the pressing game, in the big game, reliability as well. The only way Mika Godts can win against Raphinha in terms of comparison is through their age, the fact that he has a high upside, has great dribbling flair, but that's about it. So that is going to be my conclusion on the player, is that he's not a upgrade to Raphinha. He's more of a future replacement option. I would not even tell you that he could be a replacement to Marcus Rashford, because Marcus Rashford still wins in the physicality and also the experience, and he's proven at top level. So all in all, we look at Joao Pedro and Mika Godts. They're not superstars yet, while they could be in the future. If Barcelona were to sign these two players, these are players who can define Barcelona's next era, but we don't know. We don't know how fast Deco and Flick want to improve every position. I don't know how much they're willing to commit in terms of gambling on a attacker that's not even truly a killer instinct number 9. We'll see how it goes, but let me know in the comment sections down below. Would you guys commit 70 to 75 million euros on Joao Pedro, and would you actually also pull the trigger on Mika Godts, who can reinforce the left wing position? Do you think that he's good enough and now ready to go into the next season for FC Barcelona and really give it his all and bring the goals and also bring the assist? That is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.